When they began talking with him, he told them also as above, "You are all mistaken, and in great folly, that there is no purpose whatsoever. Money is no goal at all. But there exists a solitary one, blessed is he, namely the Creator. Blessed be his name, who has created everything. He alone should be served. And money is an utter nonsense. And the country where you say they are all gods, they will not be able to help you whatsoever, for they are only human." They considered him insane, because the entire country was already so immersed in money, and they were already so crazed that whoever said something contrary to their foolishness was for them a madman. They asked him, "What is this that you say about the warrior? Isn't this the warrior as above?" He asked them, "Inasmuch as I used to be with a king, and by the king a warrior was lost. And if this is that warrior, I am acquainted with him. And furthermore, you're relying on the country where you say they are all gods. This is nonsense, because they will not be able to help you whatsoever. On the contrary, that will end up being your downfall if you rely on them." They asked him, "Where do you know this from?" He answered them, "Since by the king who he was with, he had by him a hand, yad, that is, the king had something resembling a hand with 5 fingers, and with all the grooves, in other words, all the creases and ruts that are on a hand. And the hand was the map of all the worlds, and all that has been since the creation of heaven and earth until the end. And what will be afterwards were all depicted on the hand, for depicted in the scratches and folds of the hand was the diagram of all the worlds, how every world stands, with all the things of every world in detail, everything standing out on the hand as depicted on land map, as is known to those who are used to land maps. That is, depicted on a paper is each town, every country, and every bridge, and similarly other things, streams, woods, etc. And by everything it is all written down that this is this town, and this is that country, and so forth. Thus, all the worlds were depicted on the hand by the ruts and folds of the hand. And in the ruts of the hand were a resemblance of letters, just as letters are inscribed on a map next to each thing, so that one may know what it is, that is, that one may know that here is this town, and there is this stream, and likewise other things, in exactly the same way, by the ruts of the hand were depicted the likeness of letters next to everything depicted on the hand, so as to know what everything depicted there is. Thus every city separately, every town, and all the rivers, bridges, mountains, and other objects, whatever is found in the world and in all the worlds, were all depicted on the hand, by the ruts and folds on the hand. And next to everything there always stood letters, that this is the thing, and that is that thing, etc. And also all the people who go around in every country and all their experiences, everything that passes over a man during his lifetime, were all depicted on the hand. And even all the paths from one country to another and from one place to another were written on it. And on account of that I knew the way to come in here to this town, which no man can enter, because the wealthy country had dug around their cities, and nobody could come to them as above. And likewise, If you want to send me into another town, I know that way too. All through the hand. And also imprinted on the hand was the way from one world to another world. For there is a path and a course on which one can ascend from earth to heaven. For one cannot go up from earth to heaven due to not knowing the way, but depicted there was the way to go up to heaven. And depicted there were all the paths that exist from one world to another world. For Eliyahu ascended to heaven with this path, and that path is written there. Moshe Rabbeinu went up to heaven with a different path, and that other path was also written there. And likewise Chanoch ascended to heaven with yet another path, and that path was written there too. Thus from one world to the other, farther, higher world, was all depicted by the ruts and folds of the hand. Also represented on the hand was everything as it was at the time the world was created, and as it is now, and as it will be in the future. For instance, Sodom was depicted there as that city had been while inhabited before it was overturned. In addition, depicted there was Sodom being upheaved, a city turning over, and further depicted there was Sodom as it appears today after the upheaval. For on the hand was depicted what was, what is, and what will be. And there on that hand I have seen that the country of which you say they are all gods, together with all the people who come to them for help, that the country should help them, they will all be obliterated. As for this, all this for the prayer leader told them.